You're watching Hellbent Holler live, part of the Hellbent Media Network. Grab a drink, settle in, and get ready for the show.
We're diving right in. We're just jumping right into this thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. My name is Jesse. This is Joe, and we are stoked to be with you this evening. We're going to do a little sound check here, and then we're ready to rock and roll.
I thought you said we weren't doing the sound checks anymore.
Well, I don't know. I get nervous. Is the sound working? Can they hear us? Can they not? I'm sure they can. Yeehaw, Ma. All right, cool. All right. I do love that the music that we use is always like vampire club music, and people acknowledge.
It's like Blade vampire, like nightclub music. You know what I'm saying? So that's our aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? So
I look like I belong in a vampire nightclub. All right, guys. Welcome to another edition of Hellbent Holler Live. This is a show that we do every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's if you've never been here before, this is basically our free-form little hangout. Sometimes we'll come with some topics, and sometimes we'll come in and discuss what's going on in the world of high strangeness, paranormal, cryptids, ghosts, ghoulies and ghosties of all types. And we just dive right into it. And we have the best chat in the genre on the planet. Our Hellbenders. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Lovely to see you.
Curtis
all.
Whitaker a round of applause.
Curtis Whitaker.
Thank you for that, Curtis Whitaker.
What do you always say? You don't even know if this is going to be good or not.
Could be a pretty crappy show.
Could be a catastrophe.
You could have like buyer's remorse in about 15 minutes.
No refunds.
So no refunds.
All right. So kind of going over some of the stuff. Let's do a little housekeeping here, shall we?
Well, first off, before you do that, 86 joined the HBH membership yesterday. Now,
Whoa.
I saw that earlier when I was glancing at the channel. So
well, it's no longer honorary. It's official. Yes. So this week, I think it was today on the Small Town Monsters network of shows, I did an interview with Heather Moser on The Lore You Know. She is Small Town Monsters resident folklorist, and she has a podcast that she does. Sometimes she'll do it with Aaron Deese, but it came out this week. So you can find that interview on all of your favorite podcast aggregators. Is that an aggregator?
Sounds good to me.
You can find it there. It's under The Lore You Know.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I wanted you and Heather are the same sort of nerd. Heather, like when we were at the LBL filming with Small Town Monsters, Jesse like finds I can't go out in the woods without coming back 40 pounds heavier from all the little rocks and whatnot that Jesse finds and wants to magpie home. So she goes, oh my God, runs over and she goes, I'm going to give Heather this rock. She's going to think it's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, sure she will. Yeah, but that's going to be a real big hit. She goes and gives Heather this rock. Heather just like lights up like somebody just gave her a winning lottery ticket. And I'm just going, oh my Lord, there's two of them here. So yeah, so I want to see
there's more than just two of us in the world. There is a whole litany. We are legion. The rock hounds are legion. The magpie rock hounds are legion.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Joe is the victim of it all the time. He has so many rocks, and we have so many rocks just on the shelves here. Every investigation that we do, I bring home a little souvenir, whether it be a piece of the place or a rock from the area. So when we went to do the manor, I brought home a souvenir, of course.
Wait, does Heather Mosher hate Nessie?
Yes.
Oh, really? That's part of the conversation. Bonded even further over your mutual hatred of.
Because she was like, asked about my favorite cryptid, and I was like, well, I'll tell you one that I don't like, and I said the Loch Ness Monster, and she goes, oh my God, me too. But what was some other magpieing I did? Oh, when we were in the LBL the last time, we went to the Vampire Hotel, and so that is where this vampire cult in the early 90s was doing all of these rituals.
And supposedly up to some other ne'er-do-well activities.
Eventually, the leader of this, was it Rod Farrell?
I think so, yeah.
He was the leader of this group. They eventually left, went down to Florida and murdered some chick's parents. So eventually it culminated in murder, but they used to do ritual. Anything where the wild does. But they used to do rituals out there. It's a very creepy place. And just like the manor that we went to a few weeks ago, it's actually become a location for modern day Satanists and modern day, I guess, vampire LARPers.
And occultists. But not like cool occultists, like the sort of people who kill crazy occultists. Kill crazy.
But they'll still go out there to this day, and they'll go out there and perform rituals and get up to no good. It's kind of remote, and it's a famous place. It's one of those weird little Mecca sites for Satanists and occultists. But last time we were up there, we were actually up there with Alexander Petikoff, and there was a house up there long ago, and it overlooked the lake. And it was apparently just a beautiful lake house, overlooked the lake and everything. But there are still a bit of the ruins left. Part of their deck is still there, but there was a piece of a floor tile, and it's a thick stone. I don't know if it was on their deck, on their veranda, or if it was part of the house, but there was a piece of the floor from the original house there. So I have that in my little museum. So poor Joe has to carry all kinds of stuff when we come out of these locations, sometimes haunted objects out of these locations.
Sometimes haunted objects. That's fresh.
Yes.
We've got a slot on That Is Impossible channel.
Yeah, so That Is Impossible featured our Brown Mountain Lights footage from February of 2023 on his channel. He did a video on Appalachia and strange happenings and strange occurrences.
Did he call it Appalachia or Appalachia?
He called it Appalachia.
Good.
And there was a lot of comments on it about how he pronounced it correctly. Good. Yeah.
That's my thing, is that people are always just like, oh, I'm a son of Appalachia. And I'm like, no, it's Appalachia. It's like I threw an apple at you.
Appalachia. Yeah, sorry, I've lost it now. But he's a pretty big channel, and he put our video on there, talked about our expedition that we went out and caught those flying lights at Brown Mountain. And it's perfect timing, too, because this comes on the heels of us returning from our second expedition up to Brown Mountain to capture the lights again with Alexander Petikoff this time. And we did a really cool experiment while we were out there and filmed it. And coming up, I will have a full length dive into our last expedition, some of the history of Brown Mountain, and the first expedition that we had up there. So I'm really excited to get that out to you guys. I'm waiting on some footage to come in right now so that we can kind of round all of this out. And I'm working on some other stuff with it, but that's going to be coming down at some point. It's going to be a full length doc. So it'll be my first kind of long, really long form doc that I'm doing. Won't be the last for sure. We're in the process right now of planning another big excursion. As I don't know why, because we're insane.
We are finally, I think, out from behind the 8 ball.
Yes.
The storm put us behind. We were pretty open that it hit us pretty hard, but we were also going, we didn't have it as bad as a lot of people did, but it still just put us majorly behind. We don't have a lot of fat in our weeks as far as like a lot of spare time goes, and that became really apparent when this happened. It really took us a while, but like this week we kind of turned the corner. We used a rainy day to kind of like work on some equipment stuff. And what did you call this episode? The future of field research?
The future of field research.
Of course, it's your picture there, like you're calling yourself the future, but I guess you are maybe.
I am the future.
Yeah, you are the future. So we have got some, we've been like pent up. We've been like just doing like drudgery and like just, hard manual labor in the sun, trying to get all this stuff done. And the whole time we're just going.
That's why I'm so tan.
We need to get back out there. Exactly. We need to get. And guess what? We turned the corner, and I can't describe to you how crazed we are right now to get out there and try some of the stuff that we come up
chomping at the bit.
Man, I'm telling you, I had one of those days where just everything just starts to kind of fire on all cylinders, and we came up with some really cool stuff. We came up with some really cool audio stuff. We have come up with some new technology that we're going to break out and use. We're rearing to go at this point. It's weird. You would think that we would be kind of beaten down and tired, and we were for a while. And then the moment we kind of started to see sunlight, we just got jazzed up, and we're like, all right, we're back, baby. So
we're back, baby.
We're back, baby. So so it's going to be the future of Hellbent Holler is going to be, it's wild. It's going to be no holds barred.
We just got some new sensor tech in
Mm-hmm.
that nobody else is using in this field.
Yep.
But we are so excited. Joe has been working tirelessly to set it up and learn how it works. And so we're going to be able to get some data and get some readings that nobody else in this field is going to get. But I'm sure they'll have it in a couple of weeks after we have it, once they see it on our channel. So, but we'll have it all to ourselves for about
All
a week
to
or
ourselves for a little while.
But yeah,
Before the intellectual property theft continues in full swing.
somebody tagged me in a preview for Cocaine
Werewolf, and I was like, intellectual property theft. Somebody stole our idea again. What the hell? So,
Expect a letter from my lawyer. But
Michael Toa wants to know, is the Brown Mountain Lights going to be members only or public too?
that's going to be for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some members only content stuff on there. Yeah, that's gonna be for everybody. And
then of course members will always get the ad-free version. We've started doing that, and I'm very happy doing that. What I'm doing is anything I upload for the public, I upload it as well for the members, but completely ad-free, because as a member, I don't want you watching ads. So,
and then we'll also be doing the members chat after the premiere of the video.
Yep.
So Alexander Petikoff's gonna be doing also a Brown Mountain Lights video.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm kind of thinking, all right, do you and Alex like palaver while you're doing this and kind of do complimentary stuff, or do you each just go off in your own direction without any kind and just see what each other comes up with?
So we're sharing footage for some of it. This is what he did. So recently he went to Central Florida, to the corridor to go and investigate with our boys, Central Florida Bigfoot. And he had a sort of a conclave of people, a gathering of people out there doing Sasquatch research in his research area, the corridor. And they all filmed while they were out there. And, and then they swapped footage, and everybody kind of put out videos on it. And I think that that's a cool collaboration, because when you're editing, I do all the editing for this channel. When you're editing, you do things your own way. You select what you're putting, where you're putting it, how you're going to present it. And there's not going to be two people who edit the same. So even if we come from similar footage or some of the same footage, it's not going to be the same at all. It's going to be his take versus my take. So I'm really looking forward to both of those. But his is going to be featured on his series Strange Places that has launched on the Small Town Monsters channel.
Henry, it said Joe is playing with sharps. He heard my knife opening. We're bringing back the knife check.
We are.
We were doing that. We were going, you know what? We had to stop that for a little while. We felt it was best we stopped that for a little while. And you know what? Now we just don't really give a crap. So
I didn't know where you were going there.
I'm just saying we're bringing back the knife checks.
On our latest video, I had to believe we never curse in our videos. We try not to.
We curse sometimes.
But I cut it out generally. but I had to censor it in this video that is releasing tomorrow. I'll talk about that in a second. But I had to censor it out because you and I both dropped some F-bombs, but it's necessary for the video that we have that footage in there. So we just took them out. But I am going to have a video out tomorrow night. And Joe and I, you want to do a premiere for it?
Yeah, let's do a premiere.
We're going to do a premiere for it.
Do a premiere, and then we'll do a members-only chat afterwards. So everybody can be
great.
together in the chat of the premiere, and then a few of us will kick over.
So what do you think? 8 p.m.?
Yeah, let's take a poll. 7 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. Central?
Central.
No, not Central. Where are we at? Who am I?
Eastern time zone.
Where am I? Who are you, young lady?
7 Eastern.
7 Eastern or 8 Eastern. That sounds better.
Christ.
Good God Almighty. All right.
Anyway, we're going to release that tomorrow. We'll be doing a premiere for it. So that means we will have a live chat. It'll be a live premiere. We'll have the chat going. You guys can all join us in the chat. Watch the video together. It's another installation in our Dark Corner series. We return to the Dark Corner where we've had some crazy stuff happen in the past. We've heard phantom drumming out there. I've gotten some strange thermal hits out there. We had something in the trees above us one time. What else happened out there? It's been like a grab bag of weird out there.
Yeah, it has been a grab bag of weird. We've seen some anomalous light phenomenon.
Yeah.
All sorts of weird stuff.
And we get some of that in this video as well. We get some of that anomalous light phenomenon.
It's one of those places where I was just kind of like, it's going to be okay up here. And then I was pleasantly surprised at like how active. We caught that drumming. You did talk about the drumming, right? The phantom drumming, which still is just bizarre. I don't know why. That's just so bizarre to me because you could always go, oh, it was people out there. And I'm going, who are these people who are sneaking around in the dark with no flashlights and they don't show up on thermal, but they're sneaking out and these or hiding in like spider holes with thermal blankets over them all day long so we can't see them. And then they just pop out and drum a little bit and then hide back again, So anyway.
Well, and this video that I'm putting out, it's weird because you go in and you start having what you could describe as Sasquatch activity in the Dark Corner, not just this video, but previous expeditions to that area. And we found a litany. How can we forget all of these footprints that we found out there? We found a litany of footprints out there. Some are just like chef's kiss, beautiful, like footprints out there. And you get what I guess people who are out there looking for this kind of thing would say, wow, this is what you would consider possible Sasquatch activity. But then as this goes on, it seems like there's strange light phenomenon. There's this phantom drumming. There's a weird interaction that we have in this video. And there has been a question posed as what is exactly going on in the Dark Corner? Is this Sasquatch type activity? Is this some sort of spook light activity? Is this, dare I say, feral people activity?
We caught that pretty sizable upright thermal image. And again, people are going, oh, that's a guy watching you. And I'm like, who are these people, man? I mean, who are these giant naked people who are moving through the woods with no light source, you know what I'm saying? And not really making any noise when they don't want to. It's just weird, you know what I'm saying? Who are these people? Because in a way, that's kind of scarier than anything else, man, Yeah. I mean, so you've got some woods ninja who's like huge and completely quiet and naked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not a very pleasant environment to be nude.
That's kind of scary, that somebody, if that is a person, but you don't know. Like, we have not had a Class A sighting of anything at this point. So
unless you count those things in the LBL that we saw.
Well, I'm saying specifically the Dark Corner.
Oh, specifically the Dark Corner. Now, we've seen weird shadow, like upright black figures there, and then we saw like a translucent outline of something that I saw that I was just weirded out by. But We have not seen a 7-foot tall hairy hominid.
No,
there
we have
yet,
not. So it kind of leaves the question open, what are we dealing with? But at the same time,
you know what? Then it's the same answer with everything else. Who the hell knows, man?
nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And I don't know if
man.
we'll ever know. But we're going
Yeah.
to keep hitting the bricks out there and see what we can kind of stir up. But we've not been back to the dark corner in a while. Just like North Georgia, we kind of stepped out for a while. A few people were asking specifically what area this is. Is it the one with the odd holes and burn marks in the ground? No, that is the Grove. There is that going on in the Grove, but that's also going on in North Georgia, and those are completely different areas.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a different area that we've not been to in a while. On our channel, you'll see anything labeled with Dark Corner in the title. That is this specific area. We have several areas that we go to on a regular basis, and we kind of rotate through them and go to them randomly because we don't want to be predictable in what we're doing. That really cuts down on the possibility of anyone that maybe is aware of us, aware of our channel. That kind of cuts down on the possibility that they could pinpoint where we are and maybe do us harm or hoax us in any kind of way. So we like to keep it fresh and keep it mixed up. That way, you know, we don't have that human contamination in there. But that'll be out tomorrow. And it looks like everybody is saying 8 p.m. Eastern for the video.
What is that Central Time?
Why do you care?
Now I'm now living my life on Central Time.
So that means
people will be like, be here at like 2 p.m., Joe. And I'll be like, cool. And then I'll be like, oh, I thought you knew that I was living on Central Time now.
They should know that
That's
about
how you need to talk
now.
to me by now. Well, how do you not know this?
This is a personal decision you've made.
Yes.
Jesus.
I'm now a Central Timer. That's all there is to it. All right. So I think we've done everything. I think we're done. We were talked about being on that guy's channel, talked about the future of field research. I think we're done. Let's just wrap it up. Shortest show ever. So
we'll be doing the premiere of we'll be doing the premiere of that video, I guess, at 8 Eastern Time.
Wow.
And then that puts the members only after show at 9 p.m.
That sounds good.
Okay. And then I can tuck you in at 10. There you go. All right. So 8 p.m. tomorrow, 8 Eastern Time, we'll be doing the premiere. And that's for everybody. You can join us in the chat and see our latest video and kind of chime in on what you think is going on with this. Yeah. This is also one of our first videos with our new audio setup. So
which has already evolved. And I can't tell you again
even since this video,
how crazy excited I am, because one of the things that gets a little difficult with all this stuff is that you're constantly trying to, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And let's just be honest, the phenomena, whatever you want to call it, cryptid, supernatural, everything like that, it's elusive. Okay. It shows itself when it wants to. For everybody who just goes, oh, you just need to go out there and sit quietly. It won't know you're there. And I'm just like, nah, people sit quietly in the woods all the time, camping. It's like fried bacon. They'll show up. It's a guarantee. And I'm going, people fry bacon in the woods all the time. Nothing happens.
That's like the number one thing you do in the morning when you're camping is you frying the bacon.
But what's crazy is that the phenomena seems to evolve, and we need to evolve with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I always go back down to this. I always go back down to the fact that it seems to thrive on attention somehow. And it's weird because sometimes it knows while we're out there, and it knows it's too prescient. I'm not going to say it's omnipotent or anything like that or omniscient, but it knows, and it seems to have an idea of what's going on out there. It's one of those things that we're going so hard on audio. There's something to that old trope that it sometimes will reveal itself on audio when it won't do so on like video. Yeah. So we're hitting it with all cylinders right now, man. I mean, we've got this crazy awesome audio setup that we kind of finalized. It was already cool, but now we added another layer to it. And We're revamping how we do our drop recorders.
Yes, we are, for
We're
sure.
revamping how we're doing our long distance recording, our immediate area recording.
So you're definitely on topic here.
We've got everything going on. It's going to be so freaking cool. And we were feeling kind of down because we lost a lot of equipment. It's been raining a lot here. And when we're out, I mean, sometimes we got to operate in the rain, and some of the equipment don't work that well in the rain. So we had lost it, but then we were kind of like, all right, we're gonna just kind of work around our losses and just keep going. And it was just kind of cool to kind of overcome that adversity.
Yeah.
Kind of left us at the end of it just going, yeah, we can do this. We got this. So
we can do anything, Joe.
Oh, yes, indeed. So
one problem we were encountering when we were out in the woods doing field investigations is we keep having these we keep coming back to audio. And I think we keep doing that because, like Joe mentioned before, it seems like, and I think Timothy Renner talked about this, it seems like whatever this is, the phenomenon in general, but namely something like a Sasquatch, it seems like it's okay to record it, but it's not okay to film it.
Well, I think that
it seems like it allows that if there's some sort of higher intelligence to this whole thing.
I think that a lot of times these phenomena can stay just outside your line of sight. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when you're in the woods moving day or night, okay, people are not built to move through the woods as naturally as even like a common animal,
Yeah.
You're just not built for it. So something that, even if you take like the supernatural, the paranormal aspects out of it, you take something that is extremely gifted, intelligent, physically gifted, intelligent, it could always just stay right out of eyesight, but your auditory evidence, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't depend upon line of sight. So I think there could be some of that. I think also, I don't know, man, I just said something I've been thinking about a lot because we've been going so hard on audio, but I think that audio is something that, I don't know, it's intriguing me right now because we've gotten some very tantalizing little hits of stuff. We've gotten some of those vocalizations that we caught. We've gotten some of the screams, the drumming, and everything like that.
I keep going back to, and I feel like it got kind of, we keep forgetting about this, but that audio we caught in the Grove, and I just put a short clip of it up, of just the audio. I think I titled it something like, is this a dog man or Bigfoot? But it's just a short clip of this insane scream from a distance. And it's probably one of the best pieces of audio, not only have we captured, but I've ever heard in terms of this.
So
with insane clarity. I'm going to put together the whole video for a context for you guys to check out. We filmed it a few months ago, but it has that insane scream in there. And so you guys can kind of get the context around that and check out that scream again. But we've really focused on audio lately because it seems like that's so untapped at this point, that's somewhere we can go and really kind of perfect. So we're really doing that with this video that we're releasing tomorrow. Has our phase 1 of our upgraded audio setup. We've already gone into phase 3 at this point, I think. So I'm excited for that. There's not going to be any overt crunching of leaves. So
Kim Drescher had
leaf haters
said leaf haters. Probably a lot of you hate Whitley Strieber. Just read his book, Them. I haven't read that yet. It was outstanding. Looks into other aspects that people have been researching for a while now. I am fascinated with Whitley Strieber. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I used to be very dismissive of him. Something about his personality just used to rub me the wrong way. I don't know. That's uncharitable, but that's just really what it was. And then I listened to like his regression tapes where they took him back to the, some of those encounters that he had, abductions, whatever you want to call them.
It's disturbing.
It's disturbing.
And it really gives you empathy for the guy.
Yeah, you come away just going, this poor man, you know, total 180 on him. So yeah, I'm the exact same way. I've not read Them yet, but I really want to read it. And Wolfen is cool as hell. So Bernie Cannon asks, have you ever recorded a high quality EVP? We have recorded weird stuff. I don't know if
not like have we recorded
we don't
anything
really
that's like a full sentence or anything like
no,
that?
but we've caught bits of voices. Remember the night in the car when that woman's voice said
Oh
something?
yeah.
And we went home driving ourselves. I can't remember. I think it's the hunter becomes the hunter.
Yes, it is. That was
we
such
get back in the car and we're still filming, and all of a sudden a woman's voice says something, and we both go, it's just so out of the just unexpected that we both just kind of go and look at each other and go, what the hell was that? And I got obsessed with the idea that I was going, okay, it's a voice from some sort of like electronic instructions from one of our pieces of equipment. Power on, something like that.
It's like a full-on like statement.
Yeah, but I just got obsessed that might be what it is. I had every piece of equipment we had in that car just for days, just sitting there, just trying to see if I could find it. It was driving me crazy. So that was a disembodied voice, but we heard it. We both heard it as well. We picked up some stuff on the audio that afterwards we'd go, but you know what? Unless it's really clear, it's always up for debate, man. It's always up for debate. I don't know if the stuff that we capture on our drop recorders are EVPs or if they're regular just sounds that you're picking up. I mean, I'm not there to hear it.
Physical beings out there. Yeah, I don't know.
That audio that we shared on that members episode that night.
We actually, EDP asked about that. We'll get to his question in a second.
But that, I don't know. I'm listening to that.
I was going to say, you mentioned that. I completely forgot about that woman's voice on there. If you guys have not had a chance to watch, this is a video from a while back. This is from years ago, actually, at this point. If you've not had a chance to watch that video, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't watched it in a while, that video, when the hunter becomes the hunted, is probably one of our wildest videos we've ever put out. That's when I had those eyes behind me.
Yep.
We had those crazy lights up at our camp. The white wolf creature is in there.
I'll tell you the craziest
voice.
The craziest thing
then I step and scat like
10 times.
a lot.
But were those flashes of light that appeared to be coming out of the ground and going up? Because it wasn't like a flash. I mean, it was like
yes, that's space. In there too.
It was like a wide, diffused light that seemed to come out of the ground and go up, and it wasn't even a split second. It was longer than a split second, but it was long. You clearly see it, and you go, "What the hell was that?" But it's coming from like down, going up. It's just the weirdest thing, and it's diffused and it's very broad. So,
yeah.
Dooster is, I haven't told you this because we've been so on the go, but Dooster is going to be doing some like custom made ghost equipment and stuff like that.
Yes.
The Wizard of Soggy Bottom has cut loose. That's Fresh asked, have y'all watched Wolfland's documentary yet? No, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I don't have my notepad at the ready. Let me. All right, do not touch that.
I do not know what that is. So
here we go. Wolflands. Love it. Like the title. Title's good. We'll check it out. Let's go
ahead and hit this real quick while we're on the topic of audio.
Let's go.
If you guys remember, we left that drop recorder near that place we call like the offering tree, not because we do offerings, but we would find like quartz and stuff, feathers and everything around it. And I was just like, this tree feels significant in some way. It feels important. It draws your eye. It's not the biggest tree in that little bowl valley, but it's the most eye-catching like landmark that you're there and you're just like, there's something going on with this tree. It's weird. We left that drop recorder there, and that's when we got all those like weird growls, the clicking vocalizations.
And it sounded like two entities kind of arguing at one point.
Yeah.
And you and I walk up, and we're actually on the audio recording. We're walking up. You can hear us walking up. And then in the video, because we have our cameras on us, we got that clicking noise again around us. And then the growl, and we got that eye shine of something coming from behind that tree.
So and the audio that sounded like, okay, EDP's got a couple stuff here. We left another drop recorder out there, and we caught some other weird audio. And it wasn't planes crossing over, because we also caught planes crossing above us. And they're obviously planes when you hear them, you know what I'm saying? And when you listen to the planes crossing over, It doesn't sound anything like the other weird audio that we caught. And we listened to it and we were going, it sounds like there's voices there. It sounds like there's voices like in all of this. And we were catching a real weird electrical interference on a recorder.
Yes.
Which it was like amongst some tree roots, you know, and the only electrical equipment out there was us. And we left and took it with us and left this recorder running all night long. So we put another recorder out there, caught this weird audio, and we're using like some sound programs to kind of cut down on like the interference and to do some everything like that. Well, Jesse's got a program. It's a vocal enhancement program.
Yeah. So this is a program that's built in with my Adobe suite. I use Adobe Premiere Pro when I'm editing video. And so I can use that. So say Joe and I are by a river and Joe and I are talking and we're filming something and we don't have lav mics on or anything like that. We just have the camera going. There's a river by us and Joe and I are talking. And when you watch the footage, you hear us talking, but you also hear from the river. So what I can do with this is the program will take our voices and amplify that and then just reduce the background noise, which would be the river. And that's all it does is it enhances our voices and brings down the background noise. That way you can actually use the video clip that has the, you know, extra noise in it. So that's the whole purpose of this program.
Yes. So we ran it through there where it sounded like we were hearing voices and it isolated some really weird voices. So then we were like going, what EDP is talking about, what happened with it? So we did that. Then we were going, okay, so it's not an AI program. You know how like AI on like photos will put data in there that
It will fill in the gaps.
This doesn't fill in any gaps. All this does is it isolates what appears to have vocal patterns, you know, consonants, vowels, you know, speech. It'll isolate the speech and it will isolate that and minimize anything else that's in there, but it doesn't add anything. And they're very upfront about how it won't add anything to your audio. It's just basically going, okay, I'm focusing on this and then minimizing everything else. So we were going, is it just a weird artifact of this program? So we started putting in all sorts of weird stuff into it just to see if anything that was definitely not speech would turn out to be speech. And nothing so far has happened like that.
Right.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I didn't notice until they're pointing it out to me now that apparently you say program and I say program.
Yeah.
So. Carry on.
So.
Oh, welcome Butch Moffitt as a new member.
Butch has been a member
before.
He's been a member. He must just be. It was Butch's birthday last week.
It was Butch's birthday last week. Yes.
It was Butch's birthday.
But Butch was a member, and I guess he signed back up. So welcome back.
Welcome back. So
our friend.
So
from down under.
We played this. It's weird. It's really weird, and I'm not trying to be like a tease or anything like that. But we were looking at it, going, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if this is real data or is it an artifact from this program or not. So we started running the sound of planes through it. Waterfalls
from the same audio
clip. Then we went and got like waterfall audio, like audio of like a creek, you know, babbling brook. Sometimes creeks sound like speech. To see if it will go, all this is speech, we're going to try to magnify it. It doesn't do it with anything we've tried so far. So we are completely baffled. It just seems like we caught some things talking and it's weird. And and those of you who heard it, we will probably eventually release it, but it was just so, and you guys that heard it know why. We were just going, we don't know if this is real or not.
We had a
put it forward and then have people go, oh, those idiots, this is what it was. And we were going, we've got to try to debunk this ourselves first. So,
but it's bizarre. Katie came over last night and we were talking about it, and we went into the office and I was like, all right, you've got to listen to it. And she goes, she's sitting there and she's going, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. It's so freaking weird. But we put all kinds of other stuff through it that could possibly, you know, if it was creating speech out of nothing, it would have done that with those other things.
Yeah, and we've not been able to replicate.
We have not been able to replicate that, but it's so bizarre. And it sounds like 3 separate but distinct
voices.
entities. Yeah.
And constantly these three voices. It doesn't all of a sudden, you would think that if it's creating just audio artifacts out of nothing, that you would hear different stuff. No, you hear the same three voices over and over.
And I even have a clip that has a plane in the background overhead. And then I did this and it has one of the voices kind of, but you hear the plane as well, but the plane is completely separate from that.
All right. What else we got?
Carrie.
But anyway, so we're still looking into that, man. We have not been able to replicate it. We have not been able to do anything like that. So, all right, pop in my back here. Let's keep going.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great.
You're doing a great job. You really stuck with the program. SC007 said, just want to say hello to everyone. Thanks to the most professional research team in the business and the sharpest group chat members on YouTube, Hellbent Holler and the Hellbenders. Give yourselves a round of applause for that one. Did you have one?
I was going to do this one right here.
Go kid. Go.
Gray Tombstone Solomon.
That's an awesome name.
So you guys are doing God's work. Thank you with these field investigations. Fascinating stuff. Have you guys considered utilizing CE5 techniques? I don't see much difference between CE5 and just flat out like what could be considered like sorcery. You were getting into a meditative state.
It's ritual at the end of the day.
You're going through prescribed ritual and then weird stuff showing up. Well, guess what? Yeah, we're going to try that to a greater degree. We have got some cool ideas on some stuff to do to go into some of these areas with like possible activity. Can CE5 be used for other things than just anomalous lights in the sky? Can it possibly bring some of the weird stuff that's running around on the ground up closer to us?
As above, so
below. So we're going to try to see if that we've got some crazy, I'm telling you, man, some of the cool stuff we've got planned up, just some crazy like cross spectrum sensor tech stuff that we've got out there to see if when CE5 is going on, is there anything other than just a visual phenomenon that occurs? So yeah, we've got some cool plans on that. And because again, I still stand by what I say. It's sorcery, man. It's like, stuff gets you burned at the stake.
We're about to be doing some super science and sorcery.
So,
and we're in the process right now. I'm in the planning stages of another big expedition for us. Where we're going to try to utilize some of this, and we're going to go to an area that people haven't talked about in a while. That there's a lot of strange phenomenon, and a lot of it is very cross spectrum. There is spook lights reported. There's Sasquatch activity for sure reported. There is weird psychic connections and mind speak going on with some of these witnesses. There's occult activity, and it seems like it's all that same kind of stuff. The same kind of stuff that we're experiencing in North Georgia is going on in this area that we're going to do an expedition in, probably in a few weeks. But it's a place nobody's talked about in a while. So it'll be good for us to get out there and really test out some of these theories in a place we've not been to in a long time. And kind of put some new eyes on it.
Thank you, birthday boy.
Thank you, Butch.
We appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. So thank you. It's going into some crazy stuff. Ryan Wickfall wants to know if we're going to do the knife check now. I am carrying, our boy Denim Devil got me this for Christmas. And it is a Cold Steel Peacemaker, but it's the giant one. I can't remember which Peacemaker model this is. But he got me the knife, and then he had a leather sheath, like a reproduction leather sheath made for me with like the clip. So I've been like rocking this. You know what I'm saying? Not even 100% positive. It's legal where we are. I don't know if I'll take this out of state.
We live in the great state of South Carolina.
So, but yeah.
I think we could have basically everything up to a nuke here.
Pretty rad, man. So always look at this, think of Barnes and Platoon, man. One of my favorite characters of all time.
So I actually have a knife given to me by Denim Devil as well. This is a Denim Devil hour here for our knife check. This is a knife that he actually put together for me. It's actually a ritual blade as well. But that is an old trade deer slayer blade there, and then he's got a stag handle. It's wrapped in silver here, and he did a protection ritual, anointing ritual with blood on here under a full moon. So that was a very lovely gift. A gift that only I would appreciate.
Silver wire on it, all sorts of crazy stuff.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorite knives that I own, and it stays in my office. It stays on my desk a lot of the time. So
EDP had asked what happened with the Jesse and Joe audio. We still got it. I mean,
he was asking if we ran that through the program.
No, we haven't. We have not done that yet. That's actually a pretty good idea, but I still want to do that. We'll see what. We've been mostly running just like mundane stuff through
because we're trying to disprove what happened with the other audio.
Put in the sound of like just birds chirping, and it tries to turn it into speech. It doesn't do that. It doesn't turn anything into anything. It just seems like it goes. This isn't speech. I'm going to minimize this. This is following speech. I'm going to maximize this. So far those voices we got are still a mystery. We have not been able to like replicate that. So there you go. Not sure what to do with it.
Burb, not burb.
Burb, not burb. So
everybody missed the knife checks. 86 was asking about Hellbent merch. You know what we'll do? So coming up, we've got the Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon on August 10th. That's in McMinnville, 10RC. If you are available and in the vicinity, we would love for you to come out and see us. I will be giving a speech at that, and I think we're going to try to have a little gathering or get together after. We'll see. But I'd love to see as many Hellbenders out there representing as possible. But I think, Dewey is going to be speaking at that as well. And we'll pick up some hats probably from the Stitch Witch when we go. And so when we get back from that, we'll go ahead and put all of that up on the site and we'll get that going.
Surviving the Strange, are you going to the Tennessee thing? Awesome if you do.
I think he's near.
Yeah.
So it'll be after we get back from that, and that way I'll have hats in stock to ship. I'll just get those done, and we'll do that then.
An extra copy of a 1938 book on the history of the French Quarter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just want to know if you want.
Yes, if you don't want it, I would love that. I lived in the French Quarter for a very long time.
Speaking of that, Way of the Sploot sent us a awesome little.
Yes.
We're all over the damn place tonight. Guess what? Deal with it. We came unprepared for a real show. Way of the Sploot sent us like a little box.
You're not supposed to give away the secrets here.
So Way of the Sploot sent us this awesome little box. We haven't been able to assemble everything out of there yet.
No.
But with these dope like little Jesse's like that with rocks. It's dope little bear beeswax candles that I just instantly just went, all right, I'm adopting
the fat bear.
The fat bear, but sent Jesse like a bunch of crystals. That was so nice of you. That, like I said, we've been feeling a little mentally down just because we've been trying to to dig ourselves out, and that was just a shot in the arm. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Yes, and there is a helicopter. The Hellbent Holler-copter is in there. That's going to be the Sploot one.
Yeah, Sploot one. So yes.
It was a cool care package that really brightened our day. And
thank you so much.
We really appreciate
the Oreos did not last the night though, unfortunately. I was going to get into those Oreos today when I got home from work.
So we've been together for 11 years, and Joe has never seen me eat Oreos before. I have a very special procedure. I take the Oreo, I put it in the glass of milk, I hold it down with a spoon until it stops breathing and bubbles stop rising to the surface, and then I eat it. So I violently drown the Oreo and then I eat it. So there you go.
There you go.
That's Love Bug.
So all right, so we had some stuff. Again, we're all over the damn place. Pork Chop wanted to know if we ever used a parabolic microphone. We heard like years ago. Heard some weird, really faint vocalizations, and we couldn't capture them on like the action cams we were using at the time. And it's just us going, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And you can't hear anything. So we built a parabolic setup. We got a Wildtronics Mini parabolic, because it's got to be backpack portable. It can't be one of these 4-foot wide discs. So we got a really good high sensitivity omnidirectional microphone to go with it. We run it off a Zoom H1N. That's a power hog. So you need to have like battery backups to run that. Got to have a quiet tripod on it. So we've got it, we built it, and then we just don't use it as much as we thought we would, just because it's difficult to even be in compact. You still have to put it together, hook it up to the power source, stay stationary. And then if you hear something, you can run at it and leave all this expensive equipment behind, or you have to pack your parabolic up and then go towards the sound. So it's good. It's interesting. And it's useful. We just don't use it as much as what we thought we were going to use it. So there you go. Steve's video experience asked us, do you think YouTube tries to suppress any of your videos? We end up on the naughty list occasionally for certain things.
I call it the sin bin.
The sin bin for certain things. That's happened a time or 50. So yes, that has
When
happened.
we talk about controversial topics, there's like an auto flagging process that goes on. And then sometimes people report our videos. So that will happen from time to time. So, but it happens because we don't really stick to safe subjects. And if we're going to do an investigation into something controversial, we're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else we got here? Freddie Gannon had a good little thing. What would be ironic if Sasquatch was trying complex communication with those quartz stones and you just keep taking them, breaking up the message? You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And I can't keep saying it, guys. You guys are going to see some cool stuff.
I'm just excited that we're going to start this. We're doing this audio project.
Yes, audio project.
But I'm excited about getting this really good audio because it seems like that's the route that we need to take at this moment. And that's what it's kind of pushing us towards.
Yes. Pork Chop had another thing here too that you hear occasionally. People can be ghosts. Well, it's debatable, Pork Chop. I don't know if I'm still out there on the whole ghost thing. I don't know if those are the remnants of like human consciousness that you're dealing with, but why not squatches too? Ghost Squatch could explain a lot. It could explain the lack of a body. Okay. It could explain the difficulty in getting extremely clear video or photos. You say, well, they leave footprints. What was one of the earliest methods that ghost hunters used to detect spirits in a house? They'd lay flour down, remember? And then they would catch the footprints there. They make rapping noises on walls, large knocking noises, much like what Sasquatch supposedly does with wood knocks. Bad odors, things being thrown at you. Screams, very frightening auditory experiences. So
this Venn diagram is really just becoming a circle.
No, exactly. I mean, when you look at it, it's there's a lot of crossover with Sasquatch. Weird stuff. A lot of Class B encounters where people go, I didn't see a Sasquatch, but I experienced something strange in the woods. Therefore, it must be Sasquatch. I think, no, you ran into something else weird in the woods. And if you ran into it in a house, you would go, I ran into a ghost.
Yeah.
This house is haunted, All right. What else we got?
Oh, I have one over here. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute. We're just going to update this here. Sue Powell asked, will you have another field video? Missed those. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Not a live one, but just a field investigation.
Yes, it'll be a field investigation video, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be premiering that. So we're going to have a live chat with everybody. We can all watch it together. We'll be premiering a field investigation video from the Dark Corner, but it's not going to be a live investigation video.
Live investigation is going to be weather it seems like it's rained like every day. Almost.
Yes.
So
we lost one of our Phasm cams.
And a GoPro and a FLIR a while ago.
Yeah.
And a bunch of audio recorders.
Because the rain has been unrelenting.
So we're limited in what we can deploy, and it's hard for us to do a live stream for members because of the rain. But we've got a spot picked out that when the stars align, make sure your notifications are on, and we're gonna do And if on this next big field investigation that we're going to do, that's going to be a multi-day thing, there'll be some live streams from that.
Yes, there will. There will certainly be some live streams from that. I'm so stoked. I've got to get a lot of stuff done on the Brown Mountain Lights project, but I have this bad habit of I get a project and I'm like, all right, we filmed all this stuff and I'm working on it, but I'm just so excited for our next big field investigation. This is where we love to be. We love to be out in the woods. That's where we really thrive. But there's all the other stuff that comes after it that you have to do. We have to present our findings to everybody. Yeah. We have to, I have to put together all these videos and go through all of this footage. So I'm working on the Brown Mountain Lights stuff, but at the exact same time, I'm planning another field investigation that is going to be a big, huge, multi-day field investigation. And that's going to include a few on the ground while we're out there live streams for our members.
Right. JD Smooth wants to know, what do you think about the blue and green orbs and shadow people?
Joe always gets very nervous when we're in the woods and I say, I saw a blue light, and he goes, yeah, he flips out about it.
The blue orb phenomenon does not have very positive connotations. There's a lot of personal harm that comes in connection to the blue lights more than like anything else. I think it's Colm Kelleher from Skinwalker Ranch that basically says when you see the blue lights, run. Those are the ones that when they interface with the human body cause a lot of short-term and long-term health effects with people. That is how Gary Nolan got involved with this, is some of the after effects from people interacting with that blue orb phenomenon. So that's something that we're always very wary of. So that's something. And then shadow people, there's something to the shadow people phenomenon. And I think it takes, and whether the ones that you see in your home are the same or different than the ones in the woods.
What we experienced in the LBL, it's a shadow something, but I wouldn't call it shadow people because the shape of whatever that was
not human.
Yeah. Its gait was not human. Its energy was not human.
Proportions and the way it moved and was not human.
So I guess that extends beyond the shadow people phenomenon. Say shadow entity, I guess at that point.
I don't know, but there's something to it. And I mean, here's the deal, you see black figures in the woods, but you also have to admit that when you're in the woods, it's not like you're in your home. There's a lot of different objects at different distances from you. And it's sometimes easy when you move your head to see movement where there's no movement. So we're always like that going, don't let your eyes play tricks on you. Pay attention to what you see or what you think you see, but don't get too wrapped up in it. Try to be a little discerning on what you're seeing. But we've also flat out seen stuff and gone, that's a bipedal figure that's all black and I should be seeing details on it right now and I'm not, and now it's gone. What the hell just happened to me? So we don't do a lot of indoors. You know what, it's weird. We should almost do some like indoor straight up ghost stuff just to have a baseline and a comparison to the difference between what we're experiencing in the woods and what we experience in like a structure.
I just imagine you just like drinking pina coladas and just being like, this is great. Wow. Because it's not
indoors, air conditioned. We're not.
Wait, you're acting like we're investigating a Four Seasons.
That's usually exactly where we're going to be investigating.
Usually the haunted locations do not have AC.
No, this place, these guys that run a 5-star resort got in touch with me and they think they're having some weird stuff.
They think the couple's massage area is really haunted.
So Trey B asked if you guys had any infrasound experiences out in the woods. I am not going to go down the infrasound rabbit hole with everybody here and bore all 316 of you. We have had, Jesse has experienced like a zapping effect a couple of times. Other people that I know and I trust implicitly have experienced that zapping effect. I don't think it's infrasound because of what I understand about infrasound, how I know infrasound affects the human body. It seems like it's almost you're being exposed to like non-ionizing radiation, like a real strong like RF or EMF field. It's it carries a lot of more, but we've had those experiences before. And like we've talked about, we actually have infrasound detection equipment, which not many people out there have. We've been running it in these active areas, and I've caught some small spikes, but if something's using infrasound as a weapon or a defensive measure or anything like that at all, it's going to be strong, man. And it's going to be no mistaking it when I pick it up. It's not going to be naturally occurring infrasound. So jury's still out. I'm leaning towards it not being infrasound, but I won't know until you test it, and we're testing it, and it's not going to be something that we determine overnight, you know? So, all right, what else we got here? Yeah. But like I said, I always say that, and people are like, you can't say that doesn't happen. I got zapped. The zapping thing is real.
We just don't know.
I'm not sold on the cause of it being infrasound. I think that it's something stranger, and that somebody trying to just tie this stuff in with natural phenomenon, trying to say Bigfoot's a monkey in the woods,
just doesn't add up. Heard
a misconception of infrasound, latched onto that, and then it got legs, and it just carried infrasound's it's a confusing subject because it's politically charged nowadays. I'm not going to go into all of that, but you'll have groups of scientists saying it's completely harmless. You'll have other groups of scientists going, oh, it's harmful, but even they're not. Nobody's been able to replicate infrasound like supposedly that Sasquatch uses. Nature doesn't replicate it. The animal kingdom can't replicate it. We can't even replicate it really with technology to get the same effects that people report from it. But you hit somebody with some there's a reason why when planes are coming in, they turn off their short range radar, because it'll wreak havoc on the human body and cause a lot of damage and symptoms that match up pretty well with like the zapping effect. So
Sasquatch Wizard Adirondack says you guys have some better equipment than Revox for infrasound.
I don't know what Revox is.
I don't either.
I don't have a baseline to tell you what.
Yeah, that's why I put that up there, because I was like, I don't know what that is. So I guess perhaps we do.
I don't know.
We definitely don't have Revox.
We have I guess Revox is a tape reel to reel.
Oh, reel to reel.
No, most audio equipment. Unless you get exceptionally expensive, delicate, and difficult to move, most audio equipment is going to be geared towards human hearing range, because it's made for you to listen to stuff on. So 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So we have something that's specially made that was adapted that field biologists use, amateur astronomers use, people that are studying the infrasonic effects of wind farms use, and they made it a little bit more durable and portable for us. So we actually have that. So you have to forgive me. I just don't know enough about Revox. Stingray.
I think that was a joke.
Oh, gotcha.
This is a humor.
This is humor.
Humor, yes.
Somebody says it's Redbox.
Redbox.
Let me see.
Well, now to investigate Redbox. One of my favorite, it's a musical band, according to the.
Is it a band?
A musical band?
Name 3 songs of this Redbox.
I liked Redbox before they were popular.
They were cool. So.
One of my favorite examples when you start talking about infrasound, and one thing that you really, really opened my eyes to, the difference between what infrasound in a naturally occurring environment and a natural animal like a whale can do and cannot do.
Infrasound's all around you right now. There's infrasound around us right now from something, I guarantee.
Yeah.
And animals use infrasound. Nobody uses it as a weapon, though. They use it for communication. Low frequency sound waves travel longer than high frequency sound waves. And air is a pretty crappy conductor of sound. Water is better. That's why whales can use infrasound to transmit for hundreds of miles, and you don't hear of anything getting zapped by whales. Now, obviously, there'd be different frequencies, but the brown note that you always hear about, that's a sub 20 hertz sound. Yeah. It's supposed to make you poo-poo your pants. Poo-poo your pants. So people have tried to replicate that. They can't replicate it. After 9/11, the Pentagon looked at some of the rumors about infrasound, especially the brown note, and wanted to use infrasonic weapons to disable hijackers instead of firearms, because you don't want to fire a gun off and pierce the fuselage of a plane and then decompress.
So you just want to make them poo themselves.
Just make them poo themselves.
Yeah.
But they could not. And again, there might be something going on secretly or anything like that. But it's just, and there might be something out there using infrasound. But if that's the case, they're using infrasound in a way that nothing else in the animal kingdom, mankind has been able to replicate, or the natural world.
I just love when you would always say, whales use infrasound, and they're a huge, huge, huge creature. They have a huge set of lungs on them. They're able to produce high volumes of infrasound, and you don't see marine biologists bobbing to the surface.
Yep.
So that's always my favorite phrase that you like to use. But that, and you're like, oh, absolutely. So if you're talking about a natural animal using infrasound in any kind of way, that would have an effect on humans, then you would see that with whales for sure, because of the size of the creature, the amount of infrasound produced, and absolutely. So that's a perfect example that you came up with for that.
And this is a perfect thing here, and I don't want to go out on this note, but big cats don't use infrasound to stun their prey. Years ago, when they first determined that tigers were emitting infrasound, a bioacoustician by the name of Elizabeth Muggenthaler, I think her first name's Elizabeth, made an offhand remark going, these tigers are emitting under 20 hertz sound waves. We think that they might use this to stun their prey, and that we think that they might, people just latched on.
There was really no
she was just doing it, and because you can feel it, you could feel it kind of in your chest a little bit. But then they realized that tigers use it to warn off rivals. Tigers have a large range of like a hunting, to hunt their prey and all that.
Yeah.
So they warn off other potential rivals. Hey, I'm here. I'm hunting. This area is taken. Dolphins use infrasound, from what I understand. I'm not as well versed on the dolphin aspect of it, but to use it to locate prey, they use like a dual level, like echolocation, a dual method echolocation, and some of them are below 20 hertz sounds. But it's taken root with people like that. But I mean, even Elizabeth Muggenthaler, the lady who made this comment, later on, she focused on the use of infrasound by tigers to basically stake out their territory. And I've heard all sorts of crazy stuff that people have said. Oh, well, so-and-so said this. And then you go and you look at the replicable science, because infrasound is something you can study,
And lots of people study it.
Well, when I mentioned earlier, it's politically charged right now. It's politically charged because of the advent of wind turbine technology. And
the impact it's having on the environment and on people and wildlife.
So you don't want a wind farm near your neighborhood. You can pay to have a study done talking about the dangers of infrasound. And what are those dangers? Irritability, trouble sleeping, mild headaches, occasionally. None of those have been clinically proven. And then the wind farm industry will come out with their scientists going, nothing at all is going on, y'all are just wind deniers. That was a word that kept popping up in some of the literature that I read, wind deniers. So right now there's a lot of conflicting information on it, but people have tried to use infrasound, and you can sometimes get somebody that just kind of feels a little creeped out to a certain extent. Somebody had, one of the British guys, the original British guys, and his name's escaping me right now, the guy that originally said that infrasound caused the feelings that come up that people associate with haunted houses. He went as far as to say, well, infrasound can vibrate your eyeballs and make you hallucinate. And people have latched onto that.
Wind is a myth.
But and then they always bring up a NASA study, but the NASA study was astronauts that were strapped to a chair. The chair was vibrating them, not a sound wave. And they would sometimes have visual disruptions as a result of that. So we're not nerding out on that anymore, but that's what I'm saying is that we've done a super deep dive on all of this, and
vibrating the aqueous humors of their eyes.
Yes. So like Moondog said, water's a great sound conductor, and whales ain't doing this. Whales are orders of magnitude larger than Sasquatch, and you would think that that's what.
Martin Valderrama said that there have been cases of beluga whales in captivity stunning divers inside of their tanks.
I have not. I've heard that anecdotally, and I have yet to hear of anything. And guess what? Maybe. I don't know.
If so, I would love to hear about that or
Yeah.
read about that has been a documented thing that has occurred. Because
And,
that would actually help with the study of this.
And yeah, there's because infrasound, avalanches also cause infrasound. The wind can cause infrasound going across the shape of that mountain, possibly. People have tried to replicate. Mythbusters did trying to find the brown note. Now if you really, and again, I'm not ruling some of this stuff out. I'm just saying that there's a lot of talk about infrasound. Then when you start to really look into it, you go, okay, people are saying it's possible, but then here's what people have been able to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that it's not happening, but here's the deal. If there is a large hairy primate out there using infrasound in this way, it's unlike anything else on the planet. And it kind of precludes it from being a monkey at that point.
Yeah.
And Reverend PC is talking about they're not sure that was a sonic weapon. They're thinking that was
a chemical weapon. Right?
There's that, and then they've talked about that might be some directed RF waves. That is the Havana syndrome, which is similar to what people report after UAP encounters. So there you go.
Bernie Gannon said that we need to stick with reading. No need to climb in the pool with the belugas. We have enough on our plate.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm not doing that. And guess what? It might be possible, but what I'm saying is that people always speak to me with very great authority on what infrasound can and can't do, and I'm just going, where do you get this authority at? Because I read about it almost every day. You know what I'm saying? And and I've talked to people. I've talked to bioacousticians. I've talked to people who are involved in acoustics who are just like, we think it might do this, we think it might do that. It's very difficult to replicate any of these at will. There was a famous symphony. They had played some orchestral music over in Britain, and they were pumping in infrasound during certain songs, really heavy levels of infrasound.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were going, I kind of got an eerie feeling. I just kind of got like a little uncomfortable. Not everybody even reported that. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that it might be possible to make you feel a little uncomfortable, but the full on like zapped effects that you've experienced and other people experience, that's
you think it's something else.
I think it's something else, man. I think it's something a little bit weirder. So
Surviving the Strange earlier said that Taco Bell's cracked the code on the brown note.
Yeah, and it might be possible. I mean, it's one of the things we'll never know. So all right, what else we got here? Guys, we're going to be wrapping up here shortly.
So G says it's illegal to talk to dolphins.
That's pretty crazy. So
just saw that. I was like, what?
This is a good one. Broke ass prospector. You guys ever feel like you're being pack hunted? We have heard sounds coming at us from different directions. It seemed like it was coordinated before.
Yeah.
And we have, one of our MOs is that if we hear a sound in one direction, one person focuses on that and the other one of us will start to watch our backs and our sides, because it's happened more than once.
Yeah.
So I can't say that we were pack hunted by dogmen. It did sound like there was a coordinated something around us at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it was deer trying to gang up on us, those damn deer gangs.
That definitely did happen in the LBL though. So kind of makes you think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead. We're getting up on that time right now. We've covered a lot of really cool stuff
We've
today.
been all over the damn place. That's a nice way of saying y'all have been all over the damn place. So
we've covered a lot of great stuff today. We're going to go ahead and put in for last call and anything. If you guys have anything you want to throw in there, throw out there.
They do call that the clever girl maneuver. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Yeah. So, we're really adopting a lot of stuff from Jurassic Park. We're thinking about staking somebody out like the goat to see what we can kind of bring in.
You would say you're going to stake me out like the goat, but I've graduated to not getting staked out.
Yeah, you're no longer going to be the goat sacrifice.
Thanks, babe.
So
we're looking for a sacrifice. No. We'll be taking applications for goat.
So anyway, anybody got anything last minute? Pop in, say it, speak now. Forever hold your peace. We'll be a little bit more structured next week, but I
don't know. We had a lot to go over today because we have a lot of new stuff coming up. We've got some stuff coming out. We've got some new expeditions coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're really getting into pushing the envelope when it comes to experimentation and
doing some weird stuff.
Trying to find explanations for stuff that we capture.
And in introducing novel stimuli into the environment.
Yes.
Let's do this and see what
So that's our
happens.
prerogative right now is when we get something happens, we try to figure out what that could be, and then also try to stimulate activity and see if we can do something. Up until this point, we've been doing we're very active when we go out into the woods. We make noise, we walk around, and it seems that's when we get a lot of activity. Sometimes we're quiet. We try a varied approach with what we do, but now we're going to start pushing the envelope and introducing outside stimuli as well as conducting different experiments.
People are always like, you can't do blank. And I'm like, why? Well, because it will have it will stir them up or do this. That's the whole goal. You know what I'm saying? Screw playing it safe anymore, man. Let's just get weird with it.
Thank you, Grace W.
Thank
for
you,
that.
Grace. All right, guys. I think we're wrapping her up. Thank you all so much.
Yep.
Look for this, barring any.
Don't do
Top
this
everything
to
off.
me.
Our computer took a little damage from the storm. Our Ethernet port got fried with the power. So, barring any unforeseen technical difficulties,
I'll keep you posted.
we are going to release this video tomorrow.
Yeah, and we'll have the chat and everything. So that should be good.
See, Miranda's got a good idea. Have you ever think about taking fireworks to get a reaction?
No, I haven't.
I'm thinking maybe some.
We're gonna blow some stuff up. Now we're talking.
So,
Now you've piqued his interest.
Piqued. My interest has been piqued.
I used to work at a fireworks store.
Did
So
you? That's what you did. Like one of those big ones on the side of the highway, right?
Yes. So I'm somewhat of an amateur demolitions expert.
Would you ever? I guess you could be considered an amateur demolitions expert.
Well, the damaged fireworks, we could take the damaged ones home. So I would take a lot of damage.
Was that a perk of the job?
That was.
How old were you?
I was a teenager.
Like what? Like 13, 14?
I was 14, 15.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's just say 14.
Yeah.
Hello, 14-year-old part-time fireworks clerk.
Hello.
Here's this box of damaged fireworks
Oh,
because
no.
you did such a good job.
Yes.
And
thank
then you would just take the box of damaged fireworks.
Yeah. So what we would do is we would just mass all these fireworks. Then we'd cut them open and take all the powder out of them and get some long fuses, and we just build large fireworks and
larger fireworks out of already large damaged fireworks.
Yes, that was a hobby of mine at 14. It was
Sounds safe. Thank you for that, Tracy Crane. We greatly appreciate that. And our boy Grizz says he has his pyrotechnic license. Grizz might get impressed into service.
license.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you, guys. The show
Yeah.
had no damn direction at all, but it was very enjoyable to get on here and collaborate.
I think the wind took our sails.
The wind took our sails. So
The wind, even though the wind is a myth.
So all right, take us out.
Take us out. Well, if I get back into the firework business, I'll definitely take us out.
No doubt. So
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for Hell Bent Holler Live. Another Monday in the books. Keep an eye out for the video tomorrow. Join us in the chat, and we will have a members only after show after the video premiere. So you can join us for that. Chat, shoot the breeze with us, and we'll have a good time. And keep an eye out. And thank you very much to all of our members. You guys are what makes this possible.
you guys are keeping us in the game right now.
Especially after a bunch of our equipment has gone down.
You guys are
So
keeping us in the game.
thank you guys so much. We appreciate you all. As always, I want you all to have a great evening, a great night. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Let's take us out on some funky vampire club music.